What's up, guys? This is Generic Minority bringing you another Monday Night Raw review. For the night of, what is this? It's technically 11 right now. So was it 6/29, June 29th? Almost the end of June, which is awesome for some of you, not for me, because of religious stuff. I'm very hungry, guys, even though I'm fat. Anyway, Raw opens up with Seth Rollins out with the Authority, or a part of the Authority. I'm just going to say the Authority for all intents and purposes because it's pretty much, excuse me as I adjust my mic, it's pretty much just J&J Security and Kane, but that's all the Authority that ever matters. And I'm lapsing in memory right now because my phone buzzes a lot. And hold on. Let's try that again. Seth is out there with the Authority, J&J Security, and Kane, basically out there bragging about how they took out the Beast, and he is sucking up to the Authority, or the fighting members of the Authority, I should say, so that they'll save him from Bork. That's Brock Lesnar, for anyone who doesn't know. They will save him from Bork Laser when Battlegrounds comes around, because they have to stall for time for, I guess, Bork to beat him at SummerSlam. Because, I mean, it becomes complicated, and I'll talk about this and I'll go into more detail once I get to the end of the show about, my overall thoughts. But, I doubt that Brock would be winning at Battlegrounds, but, with WWE, you never really know. Vince has clearly admitted before that he makes huge mistakes and that he's an idiot, but he's also a delusional old racist that says you need to be angry and black. So, you never really know what's gonna happen. But Seth is out there just sucking up to the Authority so hard that it starts to become sucking off the Authority, and then it just starts to reach this level of like, God, he is a heel that is sitting here sucking people off so hard he might actually create a black hole, like just a of suck. Because you listen, for all the people in the WWE who've ever had like an entire faction behind them, if whether it was Evolution and Triple H, or it was JBL and JBL's cabinet, they have never hauled off and just had to suck off whoever was keeping them safe. They just those people kept them safe, and when it came time for them to fight, they went and fought, and they may have won the match in a little bit of a nefarious way, but usually a lot of times they beat the person down on their own. I mean, Triple H was hardly ever seen weaseling out of stuff. He would goat people into getting caught in the ring with like Evolution or DX and then beat them down, and then he'd go into a match with them and beat them or subsequently lose. JBL was a little bit more of the kind of Weasley, but he still had like a lot of a lot of matches where he would flat out beat people because he's JBL. He's a wrestling god, So it's it's really just a matter of what era it is, and then this era of wrestling, you cannot be a dominant heel. Like, you cannot be a straight up dominant heel. You always have to kind of be a weasel and like a scare cat. You have to constantly be afraid of whoever you're facing, and need help instead of just actually having to have help because you're so dominant. People would rather align themselves with you. Pretty much like how they're trying to build the Bellas. Like, they're trying to build them as this dominant force that people would rather align themselves with them than go up against them because they're so dominant. But hashtag no one gives a shit about divas. Anyway, so Seth is basically, he gets J&J Security some car that WWE, I'm assuming, was sponsored by some kind of Cadillac. He buys Kane a Hawaiian vacation, and he says that before Kane goes, he wants to have a send-off match, him and Kane versus the Idiot Fringe, Dean Ambrose, and good old cockfist Roman Reigns in a 2-on-2 no disqualification tag match. Well, not really tornado tag match, I'd rather say, because there was never any tagging. So that's a thing that happened, but that's interrupted not interrupted. The Big Show, they come on, they run their mouths, and then the Big Show comes out. He's got a match with Mark Henry. Mark Henry, of course, is angry and black. He's always angry and black. Oh man, doing that Vince voice, not as bad as Triple H voice, but it still hurts. He's angry with the Big Show and black because not the Big Show. Mark Henry is. Mark Henry is angry with the Big Show. Mark Henry is also black, so angry and black. Because the Big Show kind of like talked down him a little bit last week. I don't even know. Like it was nothing. Like last week he basically just told Mark, you're the world's strongest man. Start acting like it, pretty much. Like you shouldn't be losing to Ryback. It was mostly one of those like you lost to Ryback. I'm not happy about that. You losing to good old Ryborg, so that was a thing that happened. Sorry, I'm like looking at stuff, checking out my notes at the same time, and so they have a match, and it literally just does not matter because he beats Mark Henry in like I don't even know, like within like 30 seconds, I want to say. And the Miz is on commentary, basically cheering on whoever is in the ring at the Big Show, and Mark Henry at the time, to beat Big Show, so this way the Big Show is weak coming into their triple threat match for the IC title, which as weeks go on, and WWE gets more kind of blatant with what they're doing, I really feel like the Miz is going to leave with the IC title, like weasel his way out. Because there's really no reason for him to. There's no reason for him to win, because why would you do that to Ryback? And it's one of those things like no matter who wins, everybody loses, because who cares about any of the three people in the ring? And people actually are genuinely behind Ryback, but I don't think there's enough opponents for him, enough credible opponents for him, because of the way WWE is built, for him to actually have a dominant reign. So, or a reign that people will be like, oh yeah, Ryback was the big guy, the big champ, or whatever. He won't get like a clever name that's associated with his his reign, basically. So yeah, that kind of sucks for Ryback, and I honestly hope the best for him, but I just don't know. Everything's up in the air right now at this pay-per-view coming up, but there's still a couple weeks to start booking things, so we'll never see. Well, we'll never know. So Big Show beats Mark Henry because he wasn't angry and black enough, and then Ryback comes down to the ring and knocks down the Big Show, but the Miz comes in with a sneak attack on Ryback. Ryback and the Miz have a match next. They were supposed to have a match later, but basically they were just like, have it now. Ryback wins because the Miz just leaves, and Ryback wins by countout. And they start to push this idea that, the Miz is going to weasel out with the championship at Battleground. Next, we get Alicia Fox versus Paige, and Paige wins because, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter that Paige won. This match only goes on to solidify the fact that Vince hates CM Punk, and he is taking that out on AJ Lee, because they keep, even though Nikki Bella's not in the match, they keep calling out her, how long she's been champion for. They even go as far as to say the only person to reign longer than her is AJ Lee. So they're planning a coup d'etat on AJ Lee's legacy as a champion, and as literally let's be honest, a beloved diva. They kind of just screwed the pooch on their own, and lost out on her because of themselves. And that's WWE's fault. They were idiots. They treat their star talent, or they treat everyone like garbage that isn't Cena, really, or isn't one of the guys they want to see on the top, instead of a guy who's actually a solid talent. And it comes back to bite them. And CM Punk called them out, and AJ left. Now their Divas division looks like garbage, and they don't want to give Paige a chance, because I don't know why. You wouldn't want to make Paige. I mean, they don't have Caitlyn, so it's not like you could have had a kind of sort of revival of AJ Lee versus Caitlyn. Caitlyn is a fairly decently sized chick, versus Paige. They're both young. Could have went up against each other, but they don't have Caitlyn. So they didn't have Caitlyn for AJ Lee anymore. So they had no more talent to go up against AJ Lee. Then they had AJ Lee, they had Paige. But now they don't have AJ Lee anymore. So now they've got is Paige. Alicia Fox can also wrestle, but they're never going to promote her like she can. And Charlotte is, I believe, still down in NXT, and they're never going to promote Natty Nightheart. So for all of you who think that Natty's going to get her chance, she is the Dolph Ziggler of the Divas division. So get that notion out of your mind right now that Natty Nightheart will ever hold that Divas title ever again, unless it's absolutely there's no one else. I'm talking like Paige has like. Paige would have to be like quit. Paige would have to retire. The Bellas would have to die in a plane crash, and Charlotte would have to have like crazy be pregnant in order for like the stars and the planets would have to align in a way where Natty would have to be at the center of the entire universe, reciting the ancient scrolls that'll bring forth the corpse god Mantarok, in order to get her that Divas Championship ever again in her entire career. She will never hold that thing unless it is absolutely, I mean absolutely necessary that somebody holds it while there is no one else to come take it from it. And she will hold it as a heel. She will not hold it as a face. But now she's not going to be on TV because Tyson's not on TV. And why put her on TV and help get her over if her husband's not going to be there? Because those two are attached. Because that's how stupid people think. You think that because you're with someone, married to someone, in a relationship with someone, that means that you constantly have to be attached to the hip all the time. But whatever. This isn't about relationships. So, yeah, don't ever get your hopes up that that Natty is ever gonna get the Divas title. But yeah, so Paige beat Alicia Fox, but that's just because she can beat Nikki or Brie because WWE doesn't know how to book anybody who isn't sleeping with somebody on the roster. Pretty much, they can't even do that because they don't know how to book freaking Naomi because once again she needs to constantly be attached to the Usos, even though the Usos are related to Tamina. They could just have that go on and let, or at least make that a thing. Like, acknowledge the fact that she is hanging out with the wife, or, with the wife of her cousin. But no, they'll just flat out ignore it and pretend like it's a thing that's not happening, and, we'll all sit here and go, that's really dumb, and WWE will just keep prattling along in their stupidity as I click away. So, this match, or, the existence of Alicia Fox joining on Paige's team, the only thing that I could see WWE's doing is the day before, or if I don't know, and somebody can tell me in the comments. Speaking of which, you guys really need to get in that comment section and converse and let me know what's up, because I really want to do these kind of live stream styles so I can get, like, people actively speaking to me, because I can't, get guys like, like Declan, who don't watch the show until later, but or if it's like something I can do live on like a different day or something like that. Like, you guys gotta let me know what's up. What do you guys want to see? And quite honestly, just even though this is gonna sound like a shameless plug, this is what it is. Just whore me out to your friends. Just tell them to go. Even if you don't look at your YouTube, just go sub to me. Just go. You don't have to like everything. You just gotta just sub to me. Let me build these numbers up until other people go. Stupid people probably go, ooh, I wonder what all those people. Well, I can't think on my own. I have to go follow that guy because so many people follow him. I mean, I don't know. I'm just being a pessimist because I only have 102 subs. My life is miserable. But seriously though, if you like my stuff, give me some indication that you do. Whether it be a sub, whether it be likes on the video. I honestly would rather just have people comment, converse with each other in the comment section and with me. I will be in the comment section of these videos. Because I do receive the notifications that you guys say stuff, and we can talk about what's going on. But, whatever. Let's keep it moving forward. I forgot my last train of thought, because I'm an idiot. Next, we get to see, the Cena's coming out for the John Cena Open Jerk-Off. I mean, the John Cena U.S. Open Challenge, and Cena has to face a jobber. I mean, a qualified wrestler to go up against him for the United States title in a non-stroke fest to Cena's ego match at all. It's not a stroke fest, I swear. Cena comes out and he is immediately met by Kevin Owens. He is met by Kevin Owens, and they even do a little intro, but Kevin leaves the ring and he's like, you know what, we got a match later. I'm going to be the one that takes the title from you, but it could be this guy. And Cesaro comes out, and they have a solid match, and it's a solid back and forth match, but it's exactly what you expect. Almost all of these, Open Cena Stroke Fest, I mean, Open U.S. title challenges have been kind of like, other than, I think, Stardust I think Cody Rhodes. All of them have been like solid back and forth. Oh, and Zack Ryder because that's why. Um, have been solid back and forth. Good matches. So I wasn't surprised by this as there were fireworks going on outside. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I think they're throwing him in my yard. So I'm gonna have to kill some black people in a minute. But so yeah, so the match is going. It's a great match. They're calling it, hey, this might be match of the year, yada yada yada. But it's interrupted by Kevin Owens to stop Cesaro from winning. What looks like Cesaro was never gonna win, but stops what looks like Cesaro was gonna win, quote unquote. And takes both him and Cena out and says, I'm gonna be the one that takes the title, not you. And that's the end of that. I'm glad KO is just beating people up because I hate to listen to Cena talk. Anything that keeps Cena from talking. He so couldn't help talking. He ran his mouth on the top of the ramp, which I know he does. Like he'll say never give up or something. He has a little catchphrase he spews into the camera to the people at home, but he really just like was running his mouth for like 30 seconds at the top of the ramp. It's like, we get it. It's the Cena challenge. Why are you doing this right now? Because you don't have a 10-minute promo segment with Kevin Owens. You can still run your stupid mouth, but whatever. Next, we get the New Day. I'm not even going to call them the New Slaves anymore, even though that's what they are. We get the New Slaves versus, how's there a picture of slaves on my screen right now? Oh, yeah, New Day. It's not like I'm the one that edits and stuff. I actually don't. Somebody else does. Next, we get the New... Jeez, I'm losing my mind. We get the New Day and Bo Dallas versus Lucha Dragons and Primetime Players. This is literally just a rehashing of Friday Night SmackDown. So if you didn't... Oh, sorry, it's not Friday Night SmackDown. Thursday Night SmackDown. Literally, it's the same exact match. Primetime Players and Lucha Dragons win. Expect Primetime Players to hold these titles for a little bit longer until the Lucha Dragons come and take it. I don't know what they're going to do. There are no other qualified heel tag teams for the Lucha Dragons to go up against. Hopefully, Tyson Kidd's going to be out for a while. I don't know how long the other Uso, I believe it's Jay, who's out, not Jimmy. Or it could be Jimmy and Jay's the one that's in. I don't know. Whichever one, the one that's not married to Naomi. He's out for I don't know how long. And the Ascension are not gonna be a dominant heel tag force anytime soon. So, I don't know if they're gonna... I think they might just let Primetime Players hold it for a little bit until the Lucha Dragons have an opponent. Or more opponents. Or there are more credible tag teams. I don't know what they're gonna do. They'll probably just run this, New Day versus Primetime Players thing into the ground and go, see, look, black people on TV. You can't call me a racist. They're all black. Some of them are angry, but they're black. Oh, man, this Vince voice hurts my throat. Oh, man. Next, Nikki Nemeth comes out. Dolph Ziggler. I wrote Nikki Nemeth in my notes because I'm so sick of seeing Dolph Ziggler coming out with Lana for no reason, because she literally, that's all she is. She's just the weakest member of the Spirit Squad's girlfriend. That's it. But next, Nikki Nemeth and Lana come out to announce their relationship, and that's it's a stupid segment, but it's interrupted by Rusev and Summer Rae. To make a long story short, yada yada yada, Lana and Dolph like each other, but Rusev and Lana were in love, and I think are still together in real life, if memory serves. And now Summer Rae's coming to throw a monkey wrench in the middle of it. And on top of that, and at the end of the segment, Summer Rae doesn't necessarily call Lana the B word, but she implies it and then slaps her and they get into a cat fight and it's hot and whatever. But I don't care at all. I don't care about this thing with Rusev and Summer Rae. I don't care about Nikki Nemeth and Lana at all, because Lana doesn't matter now. I mean, people can hoot and holler for all she wants. Yes, she's extremely attractive. CJ Perry is an extremely attractive lady. I don't care about the Lana character and what she's doing with the, F-list workhorse Dolph Ziggler. I don't care. Unless they bring a revival of the Spirit Squad and I find out they're all running running a train on her, I don't care. God, I would love to see Kenny Dykstra and Mike Mondo just come back and be like, yo, all three of us are banging Lana. It'd be really funny. I don't know why. Um, Next, we get Adrian Neville versus Sheamus. No, I'm not calling him Neville because it's not his name. And I'm not an idiot who thinks, I'm not a 5-year-old who thinks that's going to change. Here comes Neville. Here comes Neville. Here comes Neville. You could just say Adrian Neville, but they're like, Neville, Neville, Neville. Because Adrian, that's like 3 syllables. People don't understand syllables. But whatever. Next, we get Adrian Neville versus Sheamus. Sheamus wins. That's all that really matters. It's really not that important. Moving on. Next, we get Swagger is out in the ring. Jack Swagger is out in the ring for the first time in like 6 months, maybe half a year. Probably not. It's probably more like 3 or 4. And he's got a match against Court Jester Barrett. No, he's not King Bear because he's a loser. And the only thing, you can't be in a royal court and a loser that makes you a court jester. So our so-called King of the Ring comes out and gets a win on Jack Swagger, which doesn't matter because he only got the win because he has looked so weak as the King of the Ring. And he used the Royal Bullhammer to knock him out. I really think they should just change that to Souvenir because now it even makes more sense. It's like, I went to England and I got a souvenir elbow. And that's like something he could say. You get it? Like if he says like Royal Bullhammer, it's like, oh, no one cares what the Royal Bullhammer. But he's like, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. You just took a trip to England and got a royal souvenir elbow. Oh, man, doing voices really hurts recently. I think my throat's dry. Excuse me while I take a sip of my liquid beverage. Okay, it's water. It's not anything crazy. But yeah, I don't understand why they have this whole, Wade Barrett is finally getting wins, but it doesn't matter, and I don't know why he's getting him over Jack Swagger, who can be built to do different things, but they're never gonna actually use him properly because why use Jack Swagger properly? That's a complete asinine spectacle of the Jack Swagger character. You could use him properly, but no, that's dumb. What do I know though? What do I know about using Jack Swagger properly? Anyway. Okay, yeah, he smoked weed, but, kept RVD around for a while, and the guy smokes freaking truckloads. Or he got busted with weed. I don't think, RVD's ever been busted with it, not, like, in a, being arrested capacity. Not while he's in contract with WWE. That's a lie. He probably has at some point. But I don't know off the top of my head. Finally, we get, the Idiot Fringe and Cockfist, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, versus the Authority. I say the Authority because literally even though it's supposed to be just Kane and Seth, they're literally facing everybody. Even though Jamie Noble's hurt, he still managed to put in a little bit of heel work out here, so that was kind of cool. I'm looking at my notes here because I can't read. Got something in my face there. Sorry for that blowing sound directly into the mic, you guys. I am losing my mind over here. I can't think of things. I'm trying to put my thoughts together in my head. Give me a second. Oh, there we go. The match is just going typical. It's a no disqualification tornado tag match, which they don't say, they just say tag match, which is tornado tag because everyone's just in the ring. And it's going like how you expect. The heels are dominating, and then the face is going to run. And as the face is going to run, it literally, once again, goes as you expected because WWE is very predictable. Bray comes out and attacks Roman Reigns. He had cut a promo earlier in the night saying how, anyone but Roman can win because Roman cost him, being in Money in the Bank, which is just it's kind of dumb because, he lost, which is even dumber because, that's how WWE booked it. It's just like really dumb. I don't gotta feel like Danny Sexbang's dad. Like, I just can't put words together in my head for some reason. I think it's because I'm tired. Oh, but, Bray comes and attacks Roman, takes him out, and the Authority gets the win on Dean Ambrose. They're going to go put Dean through a table, and they're stopped by Roman. And they eventually, Roman gets a little offensive, but they eventually cut Roman down to size and put him through the table instead. And then the night ends with Bray Wyatt not attacking, I think he hits him with another Sister Abigail. Ends the night with him standing atop Roman Reigns. And all I have to say about the end of the night, what isn't there to say? WWE is getting very predictable, but they're also getting very predictable in how they handle things. Like, they literally just don't care that people know or can see, what's going to happen coming. WWE is really lazy. It's just a fact. WWE is extremely lazy. They've been lazy for a long time because they've been on top with no challengers. I don't want to flat out just start doing predictions before I even get anywhere near the pay-per-view, near Battlegrounds, but I mean, things honestly aren't looking good for anyone. Like, I mean, as a whole, the pay-per-views are probably gonna be weak. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. The pay-per-views are probably just gonna be weak. Or this pay-per-view is probably going to be relative. I mean, yeah, we got Brock, but, it's probably going to be the atypical stuff, and I honestly don't believe that Brock's going to leave the championship because it doesn't really make any sense that he would. And WWE's booked Seth Rollins so poorly by just making him look like an incompetent wiener boy. That, especially when he lost the title to the 88 Fringe, and then had to get it back via disqualification. It really honestly felt like it was a botch of an ending that, like, oh, Dean won. Well, we can't have Dean win, so somebody go out there and say it was a DQ because of the push, and it's just like, are you kidding me? It's just WWE is just suckish. They kind of suck, and I see why Chase stopped doing Raw reviews, because why? I mean, I do them because one, I've got nothing better to do, and two, I mean, I like to think that people like them, so I just keep doing them because people, there's always going to be a designated group of people that'll listen, and I like to get my thoughts out there. It's better than just sitting and stewing on them. That's advice for life, from Generic Minority to you guys. It's better to get your problems off your chest. But I don't know, man. I'm really up in the air about it. WWE is just, as my thoughts race around, they've booked Seth so poorly. They booked themselves into a hole by giving him the WWE title. They honestly should have just given it to Dean. And had him feud with Roman without Roman being a heel. Roman could definitely have feuded. You could have another Seth Rollins versus Dean match, maybe even two. You could have Seth Rollins and Roman feud to see when they get to face off against Dean, and now you have it where Brock Lesnar, who's supposed to be like a mercenary and a hitman, yada yada yada, is now a face. When you could have had it when Roman gets the title, that's when Brock comes back, and attacks him, or Bray or somebody. Not saying they should just give it. Honestly, what would it do now? The title doesn't even really matter. Even though there's only one title, you'd think it mattered more, but it really doesn't. It's literally just become, now they have one World Heavyweight Championship that they call, it's like somebody spray painted WWE on the World Heavyweight Championship, and it might as well still be on SmackDown. Like, it doesn't matter. And a lot of people say, WWE shouldn't have two titles anymore because they can't even write for one, but they still book SmackDown like they have their own the way they book stuff is just like, why not just occupy. What are all these other guys gonna do? Yes, the World Heavyweight title wasn't perfect, but you gotta understand, what are these other guys gonna do? What is somebody who's been in the company for a long time, who's put in a lot of work, who deserves a chance to hold a world title, at least one, gonna do? Jack Swagger got the World Heavyweight title. I don't care what you say about his reign. Dolph Ziggler got the World Heavyweight title. I don't care what you say about their reigns. It's something that they needed for their careers to help them move out of, or keep from falling out of obscurity. And what's going to happen with Cody Rhodes? Cody Rhodes needs a title. He's never going to get the WWE World Heavyweight Championship if it's one title like this. Because we all know the guys who are going to be in play for it. I honestly don't believe Bray really will ever get it unless WWE stops futzing around with his character. He could have used the World Heavyweight title to, or Roman. All these guys could use the World Heavyweight title to kind of push them into the main event spot. Help at least solidify their place in the main event spotlight when they come to take the WWE title. And WWE really, they wasted a lot of their I mean, the things with a lot of their talent going, like Del Rio, and RVD's older, and you can't have Cena win the title all the time, and it's like there's a ton of different factors that they've wasted a lot of, like, Dolph and Swagger and Cody on stupid things where they're not really relevant and they're not really like a threat to hold titles anymore, that you could have had them doing over on SmackDown. You could just go put your big guys that people want to see have the world title, like Swagger, like Cody, like Dolph, over on SmackDown and have them run things over there with maybe, Randy Orton, or put Cena on SmackDown, even though that's not ever going to happen because, why would Cena ever be moved any further out of the spotlight than to, pre-recorded television? But, whatever. You could put all these guys, you could put Bray Wyatt over there, you could keep your Romans and your Deans and your Seths on Raw, and, let everyone know that they're the main event guys, and that put the other guys on SmackDown, let them know, like, hey, these guys aren't our main event guys, but we still have stock in them, we still believe in them, we still think that they can carry part of, because no one man can carry the whole company. That's just disgusting waste. Look what happened when one man carried the whole company. You get John Cena, 10 years of him constantly being the main event, people turn their back on him, when it's or not even turn their back on people. Some people never liked Cena from the beginning. I never really liked Cena from the beginning, but he wasn't anywhere near as annoying as he is now. Him to hold the world title, coming out being the yo what up Wigger type stuff was like, okay, let him get the title once, twice, okay, 3, 4, okay, all right, 5 times. Well, his character has changed a little bit. Okay. 6 times, okay. Well, I guess Randy Orton still got 7. He has 7. How many does Undertaker have? 8 times. And then when it started to get more and more and more, and then he 10, and when he beat Edge, and I don't care what you say about Edge, but when he beat Edge in a TLC match, Edge never lost a TLC match, but he had to put Cena over, and Cena never puts guys over. When is a guy gonna beat Cena in an I Quit match legit without trying to be like, holding up pre-recording of Cena saying I quit, or making Cena, like, Cena never puts any of these guys over. These guys who are the same age Cena is now, if not younger, all put him over, but Cena does not do the same for other people, and WWE doesn't want anyone to get put over. These guys who put all the stock into their main guy, they don't want to build any more guys, and that's really just, like, it's a disgrace, really. WWE just, I'm going to stop rambling. Let me know what you thought about the show in the comment section. Let me know what you think about WWE as a whole. You don't need to subscribe, but it'd be cool if you did. You don't need to like the video, but it'd be cool if you did because it gets more people to see it, and that would circumvent the whole me asking people to sub, because people would see it and probably 1 or 2, 10 people see it, maybe at least one of them would like what I do to hear it on a consistent basis and sub. So if you guys please leave likes and comments. Those are the things that get my face out there. It's not about subs or anything like that. Like, I can never break past the 102 subs, but if you guys, every single person who watches this video, just leave a comment going, you're alright, like Razorblade left a comment saying, you're good, and, Declan always leaves a comment because Declan's awesome. Just leaving a quick comment, your thoughts. I really do genuinely want to hear your opinion, not just because it helps me look better in the, YouTube world, but because I'm genuinely interested. I like to hear opposing point of views of people having, I think that this is like this and that's why it's this way. I don't always, Declan and I don't always agree. Chase and I didn't always agree when he did the podcast with me. I still don't agree with Chase a lot of times. In some cases, like, he hates Edge. I love Edge. So, leave comments, leave a thumbs up, leave a thumbs down. Leave a thumbs up. If you leave a thumbs down, leave a comment explaining why you thumbed it down. Say, oh, your audio's quality is garbage. I think you're stupid. I don't care. Just leave comments and feedback. I really, really not only need, but definitely love feedback from you guys. Join me next week. Same bat time, same bat place. Yada, yada, yada. Peace.